they want out there.
We want peace.
That's what's funny is I've always just shown peace and been kind and respectful and cordial to the ones that are literally maliciously prosecuting me, wrongfully incarcerating me, literally torturing me, and torturing my whole family, as well as friends, even blackmailing different people that are in their circle, doing really scary stuff. And then I'm just supposed to always just be peaceful and kind to ones that are literally fucking me in the ass. Why? When I go like this, and then you show a gun and say, get the fuck down, why the fuck would I want to side with you? If you don't even know your own role, why would I trust you? If you don't even understand your own procedures and protocols, why would I trust you? That's what I was seeing here. And then ones are saying that they're on our side since when? Have you not seen that whole Facebook thread? That this was hilarious to all of you to watch us be tortured, watch us be wrongfully incarcerated, watch our fucking kids be tortured, watch them go to a fucking psychopath, and then you think that's funny? You sat there and just like, oh, this is hilarious. I'm glad that it was hilarious to you, Jelly Bellies. I'm glad that you feel so nice and warm and fuzzy inside from all of the torture that you inflict on other people. But you do realize that the truth always prevails. The battles are not what I want to win. I want to win the war. So, Sun Tzu is a great book to study. It's called The Art of War. I learned that from an epically horrible attorney. There was one thing he actually did for me. Other than that, he was a fucking little pussy. I was like, is he like even defending me? He doesn't even do anything. And then he didn't tell me about certain court dates that were coming up. It never popped up even on the court. I would literally check the court system all the time. And then he didn't tell me to show up there. The other idiot didn't show up. It just looked like a bunch of weird stuff that was happening, and they were doing it behind the scenes, and it felt like they were part of the corruption too. That'd be Jamie Richards and Kevin Richards. Kevin Richards is a public defender, and I saw him doing more public defender advocacy with one that I was in jail with, more so than us that were paying out of pocket. They literally did not do anything for us. That's where it all went bad. Kevin Richards maybe said a couple of things that were mindful, but even inside of these meetings, he was literally discussing and said to a whole team, he said, I've never seen such alienation inside of a case. So why? And then he didn't advocate for that? Why wouldn't you advocate for children? Why wouldn't you advocate for someone that has been abused when I literally reported to all of you all of the abuse that he was doing to me? Especially Misty Crawford. I reported tons, and then they incarcerated me. They incarcerated me because I was reporting abuse. I'm like, you said I could talk to you and discuss to you about things, because that individual would drive past my house, and I took a picture and I said, can you please tell him to stop driving past my house? It's really starting to frighten me. And then they incarcerated me. So, once you give these ones opportunity to be power, and you're like literally letting them get away with murder over and 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 over again, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? Do you think that they're going to correct their ways? No, because this Cache County, they fuel on it. They actually love it. They love to torture ones that are different than them, and especially if you have a mind, if you are educated. If you go back to school and study the stuff, and then they poke at you. Just like the South Salt Lake constable that came and said to me that I had 15 minutes to pack up my stuff, or he would rip me out. Rip me out when I said, I don't know why you're doing this, it's very unlawful. And he was like, I studied law. I'm like, well, looks like you got a pay down, right? He's like, looks like you did too. I'm like, wow, epically impressive that you literally cannot even just hold your composure without being a dick. This is where it's lacking, trauma-informed care. If someone is in a state of doing eviction or going through the eviction, do you think they enjoy it? Do you think they're feeling really happy and that you have to stay 15 minutes or you're going to be ripped out of the fucking place? Also, another circumstance that happened that time, I went and stayed at a hotel. I asked my bishop if he would be mindful and help me. So he did, and that was very kind. My parents ended up paying the rest of the time. I was awarded an opportunity back in August. I never received any of this payment, and it literally states my name all over it, and I do that work all over. So it's for Youth Marijuana Prevention Campaign. I literally do that everywhere. Where does our Lee Truman do that? So that's when I started to see even more of the corruption. Like, is she alive? Is she okay? Did you guys check on her? Because 5 months with not communicating and giving me the wrong email address, and then when I went down to the government contracts building over in Taylorsville with my stepdad, there was a different email address that the security officer gave me than I got. So I was like, that's weird. So I've been sending emails, and I've been calling, and I've been leaving voicemails, and I was also having witness be aware of these things. Having my stepdad be there, seeing all the work that we have to put into these things. When we get awarded opportunities, but then what would happen within 5 months? Well, you're going to be evicted, right? And you're also not able to pay for your rent. So I had an office over at Indy Square. It was literally like one of my those 2 places were my sanctuary. I felt safe. I felt happy. And then all of a sudden, I started to see that more and more, these people don't give 2 shits. And then they pretend to be advocates. They pretend to care. They pretend to be your friend. They pretend when all the good and you get the fame, and you get the news, and you get this, and you do the events, and you do all this stuff. Well, that'll cost money, guys. So everything that says it's free, well, someone's paying out of pocket for it, and I was. So, and guess what? I didn't really get any grants or anything or opportunities. The largest one I got was $20,000 from Bob Barker Foundation. Well, I had a lot of debt that I needed to pay off, so I did that, and I got a lot of healing tools because I was still being poked at, prodded. People, blackmailing me, showing me up at my place, pounding on my door, starting to follow me. This all occurred when I got a call from DCFS. So I got a call from DCFS, and they said that my daughter, there is a report of my daughter seeing an individual do inappropriate, nasty fucking things in front of her. And then they said they were closing the investigation. And they were closing the investigation. It felt like they were almost like jabbing at me because she was like, oh, we're fully aware of your case. I'm like, you are? Then why aren't you being more trauma-informed and kind of being kind to me? Because that epically would be triggering. And then after that, I started to feel floated again and not feel safe. And all of a sudden, all the people that were in my circle and I trusted and all this stuff, blah, 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 they stopped talking to me. I have no idea why. And then they started siding with the ones that are doing the bad. I'm like, weird. And then at Indy Square, where I felt sanctuary and peace and harmony and love, I saw a complete opposite side. That individual literally didn't even call or text me to tell me about situations that were occurring. When I've shown them all the proof, I literally am waiting for this funding. I'm waiting for this. They would see all the weird stuff with our checks, and it would take forever to come. And then I would have to show up. Like, I got awarded over in Orange City. That was a shit show. And so I had to run all over the place. He put more obstacles. And I'm like, am I, is this fun for everyone to torture people? Or, and so I just started to realize that the nonprofit world is disgusting. And people are, all catty and, malicious. And I found it really odd that all of a sudden, circles needed to move into our office, immediately, when that one was never even at the office. Never had events there, never did anything. And then I was like, that's strange. I always saw, one individual always working his butt off, but I never saw the other one really working. And I found it kind of odd because, also, but anyway, that's when I started to see a lot more of the corruption too. And then these ones that said, oh, we love you guys. Don't ever worry about the rent. Just let me know. And I'm showing them all the proof. I'm showing them they say, no, move your shit out. I'm like, cool. We'll do that. And so all of these ones that supposedly are advocates, supposedly love and help these fans and help. Well, that's really funny because you literally just threw me on the street. And then one day, it was really quite weird. My parents had this like feeling to come and help me when I was staying at the hotel. My tires were relatively new. And all of a sudden, we drove back to Logan. And they followed me. Well, my car, both front tires got flat tires. It was really weird. What if that would have happened if I was all by myself in Salt Lake? With no friends, no nothing, because all of a sudden people are gossiping and saying bullshit that's all fucking lies. So that feels really warm and fuzzy inside, especially within the recovery community. The ones that are torturing is really the recovery community. They specifically state that they're doing certain things, and I've never seen them do anything impressive. I've seen it in other areas, yeah, and we should put more funding in that. More funding in like the Other Side Academy, Other Side Village, all of these impressive places, Sacred Circle, NAPSU, all of these ones that are doing impeccable work, really putting their energy and their all into this. And typically, they are very good with statistics and keeping everything tracked, understanding what the reality of the situation, what's needed, and not just doing weird stuff. I don't know, there was weird stuff going on I was starting to see. Like one in particular that's praised in the community, blah, 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 was gossiping and being really rude to someone that was literally going through intense trauma. And then, is it because you're jealous, or why would you have to attack someone like that? Do you have anything better to do? Or... And then I see that one, their statistics aren't great. I haven't even seen them. But I see a lot of death happening. So, it makes me wonder, question, you know? Because we were doing impressive work. All of ours are epically doing well. We got 2 that are going through a lot of trauma, but currently I can't, really help them right now. So they'll call and they call us, and I keep getting non-stop calls. Help me, help me, help me. And I'm like, help me. Help me. Why don't you fucking help me? Help us. Because none of you fucking help. Oh, and the PR person that we had literally got mad at me because I was stating to them that I had no funds to extend out to them when I said, I don't even get a paycheck. I've never had a paycheck from Justice by Objectives. We don't need, obviously, PR right now. If you wanted to help in the PR department, tell them what's going on. We're waiting for these checks. And then that one literally stood up and said, you're being very hostile. I'm like, for saying I can't pay you? That's hostile? Or have you experienced hostility before? Have you experienced trauma before? Are you okay?